Kick start. Forward kick start.
Hey guys, Metro. It's another shop update. I'm just trying to show you off some tools I made. I previously made a jig to do the very similar thing to this, except it was made of wood and it was much wider. And the problem with this router jig that I made was that when I actually had the piece chucked up in it, I couldn't see what I was doing when it's flipped over and actually on the router. So a friend of mine had a great idea, and he said, "Why don't you make it out of plexiglass so you can actually see what you're doing?" So I took some 5/8 inch plexiglass that I already had, and then I cut off two pieces to make it much more compact, and made some revisions. So what the revisions are, basically it's the same design in terms of two blocks being on a rail, that one block is actually permanent and then one block slides back and forth. And the revisions are these pegs up here. My other one had two big handles on top here, and for fine work like this, the big handles are actually a little overkill. I found myself actually holding onto the jig itself, so instead of actually having big handles, I just rather have a couple pegs. So these 4 pegs allow me to grab it on a whole bunch of different places and that kind of thing. The peg system is still the same. They're still made of wood that just epoxy into here. And the reason why I wanted to use wood instead of aluminum or anything is that when I'm running the router, and if I accidentally, say, hit the pegs will just be sacrificed and I can replace them. So it's pretty simple. So the way you use it basically is this. So this is a half-finished capuchin that I'm working on. So you can hold it into various ways. One of them, my favorite way of doing it, is just to hold it down like this, pull it tight, tighten up the screws, and now I can flush cut this edge or use that for the rounding on the edges and like that. So now my hands are completely away from the bit and I have much more control in terms of where the router is being used. And you're thinking, well, what about the inside curve here or that peg right there? So when you do that, all you need to do is flip it over and mount it up this way, and you can achieve the same thing by moving it on like that and then working on the router this way. So this gives me, like, it's a really advanced push stick, but I'm really happy with the result, and it worked out really great. So this is an unfinished one, and this is the finished version. So I use this router jig to actually add the rounded over edges with a 1/4 inch rounded bit. So this helped treat this after finishing it to this point. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.